Hello friends, welcome to my kitchen. To get started, take 2 strips of ribs. First, use a paper towel to pat the ribs dry and remove any excess moisture from the surface. Now, we need to remove the silvery membrane from the back of the ribs. You don't need any tools for this. Just use your fingers to carefully lift the edge of the membrane. Once you have a grip, simply pull it off by hand. Removing this layer makes the ribs much more tender and allows the seasoning to penetrate deep into the meat. Then sprinkle the ribs with 2 teaspoons of salt. Two teaspoons of black pepper. Friends, it warms my heart to see where you're from. Share your country and city, and if you're in the US, let me know your state. 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. If you have any questions about the recipes, leave them in the comments and I'll respond as soon as I notice them. 2 teaspoons of paprika. Drizzle a little olive oil over the top. Rub the spices thoroughly into the meat. Give it a good massage. Don't rush this step. The warmth from your hands helps the spices release their natural oils and flavor. If you liked the video, feel free to give it a like. Your support is always welcome. Do the same on the other side, ensuring they are coated evenly all over. Not only does paprika give a beautiful color, but it is also packed with antioxidants. It feels wonderful to prepare something that is both delicious and wholesome for your family. Friends, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell if you'd like to see more recipes like this one. Now, place the ribs onto a baking tray lined with a large sheet of foil. Position them right in the center. Fold the foil carefully over the meat, bringing the edges together to cover it completely. Wrapping them up like this always takes me back to cozy childhood dinners, when the anticipation of a delicious meat meal brought the whole family together. Place them in the oven and let them bake for 2 hours at 320 degrees Fahrenheit or 160 degrees Celsius. Then in a small bowl, add 3 tablespoons of ketchup, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of paprika, We also need 1/4 teaspoon of dried oregano. One tablespoon of garlic powder. 1 tablespoon of balsamic vinegar. 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. 1 teaspoon of honey. Mix all the ingredients thoroughly with a spoon until the mixture is smooth and glossy. Making your own sauce allows you to control the ingredients, which is so important for a healthy diet. And the aroma of these spices mixing together is just delightful. Now, let's prepare the garnish. Heat a frying pan and add some olive oil. Then add a 1/4 stick or about 30 grams of butter. Gently stir it with a spatula until the butter melts and blends perfectly with the oil. Adding butter to the oil prevents it from burning and adds a lovely creamy richness to the vegetables. Finely chop 1 white onion. I really love adding onions to my dishes. Not only do they bring great flavor, but they're also packed with antioxidants and have lots of health benefits. Onions can boost your immune system and improve heart health. Add it to the pan. Fry the onion until it is soft. Next, grate 1 carrot. Carrots are not only colorful, but also packed with essential vitamins that are wonderful for your health. Add it to the onion and fry the vegetables over medium heat. This combination is the secret to a great taste. The natural sweetness of the carrot blends with the savory onion to build a rich, delicious flavor foundation. Now, take a head of fresh cabbage and shred it, but not too finely. We want it to keep some texture. I always think about how my grandmother used to chop cabbage for her famous stews. The smell of fresh cabbage sizzling in the pan brings back so many warm memories of family dinners. It's such a simple vegetable, yet it carries so much tradition and comfort with it. Add all the shredded cabbage to the pan with the fried vegetables. Stew it until it becomes soft. It absorbs the savory juices from the onions and carrots, becoming incredibly tender and full of flavor. Finely chop some parsley. Set it aside. Now let's season the cabbage. Add 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of dry garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of paprika, stir everything well. The aroma right now is just incredible. Take the ribs out of the oven. Carefully remove the foil. Be careful of the hot steam. Brush one side of the ribs generously with our BBQ sauce. We want to cover every inch, so the sauce caramelizes into a delicious, sticky glaze. Put them back in the oven for another 10 minutes at a higher temperature of 390 degrees Fahrenheit or 200 degrees Celsius. This helps the sauce caramelize and become sticky. After 10 minutes, flip the ribs to the other side. Generously brush this side with the sauce and make sure to glaze all the sides as well. Bake the ribs for another 15 minutes. The rich aroma filling the kitchen reminds me of festive family gatherings, where good food always brought us closer together. Now, remove the ribs from the oven. Just look at that beautiful glossy color. Now, slice the ribs between the bones. The meat is so tender, it pulls right apart. Place a generous portion on a plate. Add the stewed cabbage alongside it. To finish, sprinkle the fresh parsley over the entire dish. The pop of green makes it look irresistible. You have a satisfying meal full of flavors that come together beautifully. There you have a simple, delicious meal ready for your family to enjoy. I hope this recipe brings warmth and comfort to your table as it did to mine. Thank you for cooking with me today. But don't go just yet. There's another cozy and tasty recipe I'd love to share with you. To start, melt half a stick or 60 grams of butter on medium heat. Get a cut of pork neck weighing roughly 2 pounds or 900 grams. Slice the meat into 4 generous pieces. Lay them directly into the pan. Sear the first side for 2 to 3 minutes. Be sure to add salt and pepper. Next, flip the meat over and brown it for another 2 to 3 minutes. Season this side with salt and pepper too. Finally, remove the seared pork from the pan. Then, cut 2 onions into semicircles. Chopping onions always reminds me of the busy, happy kitchen of my childhood. They are also packed with antioxidants that are great for our bodies. Arrange the onions in a baking dish. Shred 3 cloves of garlic using a mini grater. Garlic is incredible for heart health and works wonders for boosting our immunity. Grating it helps release the essential oils, creating a much richer and more potent flavor than just chopping. Transfer the garlic to a small bowl. Pour in 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1 teaspoon of paprika, combine everything thoroughly. Drizzle the liquid mixture over the onions. Toss them with tongs to ensure the onions are fully coated. Finally, lay the pork pieces directly on top of the onion layer. Let's combine 3 fluid ounces or 90 milliliters of olive oil in a small bowl, 1 tablespoon of honey, two teaspoons of mustard. Take 1 lemon and slice it in half. Squeeze the juice from 1/2. That fresh citrus scent brings back memories of bright summer mornings, and it's loaded with vitamin C to keep our immune system strong. Add it to the mixture. Then toss in 1 teaspoon of rosemary. One teaspoon of salt. Half a teaspoon of black pepper. Whisk everything until it is perfectly smooth. Pour the savory sauce over the pork and onions. Cover the dish tightly with foil. Bake at 360 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius for 60 minutes. In a large pan, pour some olive oil. Cut 4 medium potatoes into slices. Fry them until they are nice and crispy. The golden color and savory smell instantly take me back to casual family dinners from my childhood. It reminds me of those simple, happy times when we would all gather around the table to share a hot meal and stories from our day. Now, slice the zucchini into rings. Zucchini is loaded with antioxidants and vitamin C, which are wonderful for boosting our immune system. Then cut the rings in half. Add them to the potatoes. Mix gently. Then slice half a red bell pepper. Add it to the pan. Repeat with half a yellow bell pepper. Combine all the ingredients. Finally, chop 2 stalks of celery. This adds a wonderful aromatic depth and a fresh, savory kick to the dish. Add them to the pan. Sauté the vegetables for roughly 7 minutes, stirring occasionally. Place 1 tablespoon of tomato paste into a small bowl. Pour in 5 fluid ounces or 150 milliliters of water. Mix until smooth. Add the tomato mixture to the vegetables. Sprinkle with half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of black pepper. Toss everything well to coat. Now slice 1 broccoli into florets. Toss them into the pan. Mix gently. It adds a fresh, earthy flavor to the mix. Add a sprig of thyme. Leave it to cook for 10 minutes. Cut 1 tomato into small slices. The fresh scent always takes me back to sunny afternoons in my grandmother's garden, picking ripe tomatoes right off the vine. Add them to the pan with the vegetables. Stir well. Chop 2 garlic cloves into small pieces. Garlic is a powerhouse for our immune system, and it adds a bold, savory kick that brings the whole dish together. Add them as well. Stir again and stew for another 6 or 7 minutes. Remove the pork from the oven. Discard the foil and bake for a final 15 minutes. When ready, transfer a piece of pork to a plate. Layer the onions on top. Add the stewed vegetables on the side. This dish defines true comfort. The tender pork is a fantastic source of protein, and the vibrant vegetables are packed with essential vitamins. It is a nourishing, soul-warming meal that brings the loving atmosphere of home right to your dinner table. I truly hope this meal brings your family the same warmth and delicious comfort that it brings to mine. Thank you for cooking with me today. Until next time, happy cooking!